You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Made right here in Iowa since 1895. By your local Ford dealers. Iowa Lottery. Be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit ialottery.com for details. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. U.S. Cellular. The official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular. Built for us. Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hy-Vee. Score big savings with a Hy-Vee Perks membership. Mid-American Energy. Look up, look out for overhead power lines. Visit midamericanenergy.com for electrical safety tips. Midwest One Bank is the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye men's basketball. Midwest One, small enough to care, big enough to deliver. Member FDIC. And by Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. Here's the voice of the Hawkeyes, Gary Dolphin.
Rob Brooks in for Gary Dolphin, and welcome to Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery, along with Bobby Hansen and the head coach of the Hawkeyes, as Iowa gets ready for a couple of games on the East Coast at Rutgers on Wednesday night, and then home, and then right back out to Maryland to take on the Terrapins over the weekend, as Iowa coming off a tough loss against the Wisconsin Badgers, 74-63, but had three players in double figures. Bryce Sanford led the charge off the bench with 14 points. Josh Dix got off to a great start as well against Wisconsin. Had 10 in the first 20 minutes, ended up with 13, and then Drew Thelwell had 11. And Bryce Sanford had 11 of 14 in the first half, and that's his highest point production since scoring 16 at Michigan. And that was great to see, Fran, that bench production. We talked pregame before the Wisconsin game, obviously losing Owen Freeman in the middle, and that production, not only from an offensive standpoint, but a rebounding standpoint. It was going to have to be by committee, doesn't have to be one particular player, but boy, Bryce Sanford thought he really came off the bench and gave you some huge minutes.
He was terrific. I mean, you look at a number of different things. He rebounded the ball, got to the offensive glass. He drew 5 fouls, and that was critical. And he does that. You know, everybody thinks he's a jump shooter, which he's a very good one, but he can put it on the deck and make plays. And he just keeps getting better. Really proud of him.
Yeah, I talked to him after the game, and when you knock down a 3 or 2 and get to the basket like he did, showed that he's got some versatility to his game, and I thought was really good around the rim.
Yeah, and the other thing, he's 6'7", so he's a little taller than everybody thinks he is. So when he gets around there, he can use the rim, come around, shoot a reverse layup, finish with his left hand. But the thing that you're seeing with Price is he's playing with confidence right now.
And it seemed like Coach's confidence grew as the game went on there. It started out, wasn't really looking for that shot, and then he was able to turn the corner and get to the basket a couple times, and the free throws got him going.
Yeah, I mean, he's not a guy that comes in firing, to prove to the world that he can score. He comes in and plays the game the right way. Plays both ends, like I said, sticks his nose on the glass, drives the ball, moves the ball, and shoots it when he's open. And that's what the great players do.
Talk about the rebounding, Fran. You held your own against these guys, and it took everybody to get in there and contribute on the glass and got your running game going there in the first half. Just talk about the rebounding.
The rebounding is key against these guys, against anybody, as you know, but we get pounded on the glass up there, 37-21. We played them up there. You're not winning at 37-21. I don't care how many threes you make. So that was a focal point of our game plan, and we're up 1 at half, ended up down 4. They got too many offensive rebounds in that one stretch at the start of the second half, and that was unfortunate. But we continued to battle. I thought Lodgy in particular was really good. Peyton, of course, always is, and Price, like we said. Seydoux was on the glass, and that's what it has to be. It has to be by committee.
You look at Wisconsin, too, Fran, outstanding shooting team, especially from 3 on the season. They're 46.3 from the field, 39.5 from three, and then 84% from the free throw line. And you held them under those numbers. They shot just 39% from the floor, under 35% from three. Did get to the free throw line in the second half, but 82%. So it talks about the defense. And you look at the offensive rebounds, too. You guys got 11 of them, which certainly helped.
It definitely helped. We can't give Tanji 10 free throws. Right. I mean, that is something that you talk about every time you play them. He's taking more free throws than anybody else in the country. He's shooting 92. And we put him on a free throw line 10 because we did a pretty good job on him otherwise. And he's a handful. He's going to put his head down and go. And the way he's shooting the ball from three-point range now, but he still missed 6. It was 3 for 9, but he's been on fire from three-point range. So we keep him off the free throw line. It's a different game. Can't let him get 22.
Yeah, did you feel like he got aggressive taking it to the basket, especially there in the last 10 minutes? He
did, and a lot of times I feel like he's the one initiating the contact and not so sure that he should have ended up on a free throw line.
Talk about another key was set the tone defensively early in this game, and I thought you guys did. You got physical with them, and this thing was tied there up by 2 at halftime, but it was back and forth. Guys hung in there, and they did it with defense.
They're a ball screen continuity team, which is a good way to go when you have the versatility that they have. And they used to run more sets, and they still run some stuff. I mean, Greg runs good stuff, but it's ball screen continuity because they have multiple three-point shooters. They have 2 7-footers. So the screen roll action and the open post for driving for Blackwell, Tanji, McGee, guys like that is, makes them hard to guard. But we were locked in, and you can only defend that particular offense if you're connected defensively, and we were. And the worry that you have is that you get worn down. And we got a little bit worn down. But, the free throw disparity was a little bit disconcerting.
Let's talk about Seydou a little bit. He looked a lot more confident, a lot more comfortable is probably the right word out there. And he's playing against these guys that are 7 foot. He's a little bit undersized in there, but they didn't hit the threes. I thought Corral and Winter are good three-point shooters, but when Seydou was out there chasing them down and using his length, I thought it affected him.
There's no question. His length and his ability to close out in space without getting driven on, that's another thing that happens out of the ball screen continuity offense. When the ball swings and you're over, and now you got to get back to a shooter, you have a longer closeout. And so it's great to have Seydou because he's got length and can contest the shot. But if you overextend and get on your up foot, they're going to rip and drive by you and end up on a free throw line that way. So he did a good job there.
Then a couple of big block shots, too. He'll no problem meet you at the rim, right?
Yeah, and one I thought was clean and was not called that way, but he's challenging at the rim, so that's
looks like he was going straight up, too.
That's what I thought. Yeah.
Then, of course, you look at this game, too, Fran. You led for 17 minutes and 34 seconds, and you figured it'd be kind of a back-and-forth contest, but I know the conversation you had with Coach Eldridge at the half was keep him off the free throw line, and then you figure if that takes place, good things probably happen because you were right there inside of 5 minutes.
We were, and I felt like, to be honest with you, that we should have been shooting free throws too, and that was disappointing. We're driving the ball, we're moving the ball, and I get it. Without Owen, they're paying close attention to Josh and to Peyton, and there's a difference between paying close attention and I'm feeling like we should have put a free throw line a little bit more.
Yeah, both teams had 20 points in the paint, and you're right. You're driving, getting into the paint, and some shots.
I think those guys deserve respect.
Yeah,
they deserve respect. I said that in the press conference after the game. They have established themselves and deserve more respect than they got in this game.
Absolutely, and it's just what you're seeing there is 2 hands on a guy. Yeah, you put 1 hand on a guy, but it seems like a lot of times those guys are getting held with the 2 hands.
And it's not easy. I mean, you're 100% right, and that's what is upsetting. It was a physical game, and sometimes you get into, the officials, when there were some really good ones today on this game, they don't want to call everything. But if the game is shifting, then that's when you need something called. And the game shifted in that direction with all the free throws that they shot, and we didn't. Partly because we were only at 4, so we had to get to 7, and so we'll learn from it.
As a player, when someone's holding you like that, or just being really physical with you, pushing you off your spot, I always felt like you got to fight back. And I remember watching Connor. Connor was one of the best at it. I didn't say draw attention to it, but he's like, get your hands off me.
No, you're 100% right. He would draw attention to it, and it would be a confrontation that brought all 3 officials, both benches.
So look at this.
Yeah, no, we're not doing this. You're not putting your hands on me. And it was people get upset. What's he? No, I'm good. I'll compete, but you're not putting your hands on me. You're right, Bobby, and that's why you were so good, and why that kind of stuff happened in the pros. You took care of it.
You get in a fight. You don't want to fight anymore.
No, we don't want to fight. Nobody wants to fight, but nobody's running away from a fight either.
Yeah.
And defensively, if they allow that, obviously it's
an advantage.
To continue. Yeah.
It's advantage, disadvantage, and that's and I was talking about it all game, and talking about 3 veteran guys that they've been around. I mean, these guys are highly sought after, and on a Saturday in February there's a lot of games, so it wasn't like I have any beef with those 3, but I do think I'm seeing a trend, especially since Owen is out, with how Josh and Peyton are being defended, and that has to change.
And you look at Peyton, obviously awarded the Julius Erving mid-season watch list, and only 10 players on that list, and that's a guy that, has, as you mentioned, Fran, has really proven himself in the Big Ten. It's not like he's a freshman coming in here. He's a proven guy.
Proven guy. Was 6th man of the year as a sophomore. Had a great year last year. Turned down a 2-way to come back here and lead this team. And he didn't shoot it well today, I know, but 8 rebounds, 3 steals, no turnovers. Or 1 turnover. I mean, and he's obviously getting closely guarded. So, really proud of him.
Coach, while we're on the topic of referees, there was one I thought was a 10-second call. What do they look at? Are they counting in their head, or are they looking at the shot clock? The referees, I'm asking. Yeah.
I don't think they. That's a good question. I'm not sure that they count anymore. They just look at the clock
and see if it goes to 20.
They sure used to.
It was at 20 before the guy passed the ball.
They used to count, and that was the count. Didn't matter what the shot clock said. Yeah, so that's a good question, Bobby. I don't know.
Yeah, something to look back on the tape, I guess, because that trap got him a couple times.
Trap got him, and we had to do something to change the complexion of the game, the tempo of the game, and we did it with our pressure. Got a couple turnovers with it, and thought we had one there.
And they had tough time getting the ball inbounds a couple times on the baseline too.
Timeouts, which many times manifests itself late in the game when all of a sudden you need timeouts, you don't have any left. So really proud of our guys there.
Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery will continue. Don't forget that you can join us at the Hyatt Regency Coralville's Watermill Kitchen and Bar and watch the show live each week. We'll be offering an extended happy hour, including $1 wings, $3 drafts and domestics, and $5 house wines. Come on down to the Watermill Kitchen and Bar. Join us for a great evening of Iowa Hawkeye basketball. As a proud sponsor of the Hawks, U.S. Cellular wants you to make the most of today by choosing game day traditions first and scrolling later. U.S. Cellular is built for us. We'll have more Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery after the break. This is the Fran McCaffery Show from Learfield.
Hear that? That's the Iowa Lottery powering up the new Pac-Man scratch ticket, where you could jump your way to $50K in instant cash prizes. Even if you don't score big in your first round, you still get an extra life. Because you can enter non-winning tickets in the VIP club for a chance to win a Pac-Man arcade package, plus your share of $325,000 in cash prizes. That's a lot of Waka Waka winning. Woo-hoo! Pac-Man is registered and copyrighted by Bandai Namco Entertainment Inc. Enter and see rules at iLottery.com/VIP.
Hawk fans, be sure to visit and connect with these local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, located in the Des Moines area. Car Law, Community Choice Credit Union, and Royal Flooring. At Community Choice, it's simply a mortgage. No hoops to jump through or limbo sticks to go under. Just a straight, easy path from point A to point B. It takes less than 60 seconds to get started at unpackyourmortgage.com. Loan approval subject to credit score and analysis. See credit union for details. Equal opportunity lender.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Fran McCaffery. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
I'm Wyatt Black, defensive line, Iowa. On the field, I take on double teams, stop the run, and sack the quarterback.
Sullivan now runs for his life, and he's obliterated by Wyatt Black. Here's the snap, the spot.
Yes, and it's blocked it. Kick is back to the line of scrimmage. Don't touch the ball.
Hawks get it back. Wyatt Black, that man, what a momentum shift there.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery as the Hawkeyes preparing to take on Rutgers from Piscataway, New Jersey on Wednesday night. And then we'll come home, a couple days of practice and class, and then right back out to the East Coast to take on Maryland. And just welcome to the Big Ten, right, Fran? I was out with the women's team, and we did the Oregon-Washington swing, which... stayed out there, obviously, but you got flights in between Oregon and Washington. You can't stay put, and he'll get some practice in and go play. But this is the new age, right?
Yeah, when we went to UCLA and USC, it's a little easier. You just drive from one to the other. We changed hotels. We didn't have to, but it's just far enough. And plus, in California, you never know with traffic. But we really contemplated staying out east the whole time. And like you just pointed out, Rob, it's a class thing. If you can get back, go to class, turn around and go back. It's interesting. Like you would get conflicting opinions on, well, heck, just stay out there and save the wear and tear on your body. But sometimes then you feel like, we're stale, we get into a hotel, and we get out of our rhythm. I don't know.
Find a place to practice, all that stuff.
To me, if you can save some money, and not get another charter flight, actually, two, you got to go back, and you got to come back. So, it's one whole charter flight. I'd err on saving the money as long as there wasn't a real academic risk. Because let's face it, we in today's world we talk about TV and NIL and stuff like that. They're still here to get an education, and we want that to be the priority. So we just don't blow class off indiscriminately.
On these long road trips, coaches still forward to make sure that you've got a 2-day prep for every game, because if you go to the West Coast, maybe you, like the old days, travel partners, played on a Thursday and a Saturday, but obviously didn't have a 2-day prep back then. But that's the important piece, right, where you're going to stay an extra day, a Sunday, Wednesday, a Monday, Thursday, that type of thing, versus maybe condensing a long
There was
trip.
even talk about going back to that, but I think it's really hard, especially for the West Coast teams that are constantly going east, or the East Coast teams that are constantly going west. And now, the scouting is way more sophisticated than it was because every game's on TV. You can watch every game. You can break down every player, tendencies, going right, going left shoulder, right shoulder, shot fake drive. And you have bigger staffs to break that information down, both analytically and on the screen. So a 2-day prep at least gives the kids a fighting chance to know who they're playing and what they have to do to win.
Let's talk about Rutgers a little bit, Fran. Steve Pikel's done a really good job out there since coming from, Stony Brook, I think it was, out there on Long Island. But he's got a couple of players there, freshmen, that are projected top 5, did I read?
Yeah.
NBA draft.
Yeah, 2, 3, I think, Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey. But that's not all they have. I mean, those two are special. Like, when you turn the game on and they're playing, okay, those two guys are different. It's the first thing that jumps out at you. They're different. Yeah. But they've got other good players. He went into the portal and got some guys. So it's a veteran group. It's an athletic group. As you know, Bobby, his teams play defense. It's a small arena, so it's always really intense and crowded, and a great opportunity. Swish out of the corner. Off the side of the backboard.
Beautiful. Little fadeaway. You can still see it today.
But it was a great pass, and it was a great play, by Nicholas and Isaiah Moss. They were involved in that. And
Connor made the pass.
Connor made the pass, and Weezy knew it was a catch and shoot.
How much time was left? Do you remember? 0.8?
I think maybe? I thought it was maybe like 2.1 because they still got a chance to inbound the ball. It wasn't like that when it went in and we all jumped on him like the game was over, but there was still like 1.1 or something like that, or 0.9.
Amazing shot from the left corner, right in front of the Hawkeye bench.
Yeah.
Good thing you can't advance the ball like in the women's game.
Well, that way the game's never over,
right?
And that's the way it is in the pros. I really thought we were going to go to that, and I think we may at some point, but maybe not. If we're just going to stay at halves and not quarters and things like that, and the foul situation being what it is. Because that's a game changer, too, the 5 fouls per quarter, and then everything's a 2-shot foul. There's not nearly the pressure on the free throw shooters that there is if you're shooting a 1-on-1, especially with a 1-point lead.
Going to stay at halves for the foreseeable future?
It doesn't seem like it's changing. Yeah, I mean, they talk about it, but not much.
Fran, then after Rutgers, obviously, off to Maryland, and they have really had some big-time road victories. It seems like teams will get on a roll, and then when you get going away and knock a few down, and then at home. But that's just what this league is. You look at Michigan State, goes out and loses to USC. UCLA has difficulty at home with Oregon, and there's a top 10 team in the country.
Yeah, everybody's good. I mean, that's the bottom line. Everybody's good. Everybody has good players. If you didn't have good players, a lot of teams just went into the portal and got good players. And Maryland has a really good team. They're big, they have speed, and they have veterans. But they do have one of the best freshmen in the country, in the kid Queen.
Talk about him a little bit more, Derek Queen.
He's long. He doesn't play like a freshman. He plays like a 10-year NBA vet.
He does.
Yeah. I mean, he can pass it, shoot it, never panics. Really long. A little bit more of a wide body, but skilled. He's special.
As is Reese. He stepped up his game.
Well, Reese took his game to a whole other level. And you could see that coming. I thought when he was a freshman, he was really good. He's bouncy. He's active. He's long. And challenges you at the rim. And he was a little bit one-dimensional, and he's really diversified his game. He's ripping and driving. He's making his free throws. Used to be just foul him, and it's not the case anymore. So I give the kid credit.
Yeah, and as you watch that film too, Fran. You obviously year to year when you see players like you have on this team that develop and get better, and you can really see in a hurry if you watch 2 or 3 games this year versus last year, saying, "Boy, this guy has really elevated his game."
And that's what you want, and college basketball is getting away from that. It's just replacing with somebody else who's 23. We're not in a position where we can do that. We're going to continue to develop our guys. And you've watched Josh Dix blossom. You've watched Peyton grow. You're watching Price and Lodgy and Brock. Same thing, that sophomore class. And that's how we're doing it, and that's how we'll keep doing it as long as we can.
That's got to be one of the things that makes you most proud, is seeing a kid develop like that.
Well, that was always what our job was. That's why we got into it. We mentor them. We recruit them. We talk to them about how we're going to help them grow, and then we help them grow and develop and be, sort of complete the picture. You're really good at this and this, but we're going to make this and this, which might be a weakness now, a strength. And that's the hardest thing with the new rules, with everybody being a free agent and so much money out there. So that's been a game changer, because sometimes, it's working for you, but wait a minute, I can make $500,000 more over there. I love you, but
it takes a lot of loyalty.
Yeah. And that's what we're dealing with right now.
You still have one in high school, obviously committed, but I think with the portal, mid-majors going to high major, has it really hurt some of the high school recruits out there, maybe not getting an opportunity they may have 4 or 5 years ago?
No question. High school kids are being overlooked. Junior college kids are getting overlooked. At the very least, Rob, it's developing late for them, so maybe the interest early is not the same. It's, okay, who's available? I didn't get who I thought I was going to get on the portal. I don't have enough money. So, for Jack, he was, first of all, he's well-versed in the recruiting process. Right. So what he did was he evaluated who worked the hardest to get me. And he was offered by a lot of people, and, they say a lot of things, and he knows who's telling the truth and who's not. And Butler was with him every step of the way, and he just said, I want to go there. They tracked me in the summer for 2 summers. They came to my games. They came to school. They came to the house. What else did I have to do to let me know that they want me? Of course, he visited there 3 times and really loves, Coach Mata, Coach Joseph, and another guy on staff that likes him too.
I would hope so.
Yeah, but he wasn't on the staff when they recruited him. Right. So, but I'm happy for him. He's excited.
Well, and you talk about a tough league. I've watched a lot of Big East
physical
the last couple of years. Yeah,
it's half court defense. We look at Seton Hall, St. John's, Providence. Those teams really defend at half court. Marquette. I mean, it is absolutely crazy how physical it is. So it's something you got to get used to, especially when you're young.
Is Jack a physical player? I haven't really seen him play. I've seen highlights for all offense.
He's a skilled forward. So he's not running around, smash mouth.
Yeah.
But he's not afraid of contact. Yeah.
St. John's got good in a hurry.
Yeah. I love Rick Pitino's response when they beat Seton Hall, and they were trying to make sense of it all. He said, "Well, it's real simple. We gave their best player a ton of money, and he came over here. He plays for us now."
Oh, that's right. Kadari Richmond, isn't it?
Yeah, Kadari Richmond. We
knew how it happened.
Right? San Diego.
Yeah. I mean, honest response, Rob.
I like it. From him, that's what you would expect, right?
Exactly. He's calling it like it is. I mean, he's been around a few years.
Yes, he has, and that's made that league even more difficult, because you look at the junior college. Follow up on the changes in recruiting for high school players, and so now the junior college, you can go there for 2 years and your clock's not ticking, so you could have 6-year college players.
I mean, who's thinking that one through?
Nobody.
That's just idiotic. But if that's the way it is, then we'll deal with it. But it's lacks intelligence and foresight and fairness to those guys that don't want to go to junior college. We're going to reward guys to go to junior college and give them an added advantage. I don't think that's right.
And then does that turn into maybe like in the past where schools will hide out players at a certain junior college?
You're not hiding out anymore.
We may need you.
You can't hide them anymore. You can't. Unless you change their name or something.
Thought, though, Rob.
Yeah, but I was thinking old days.
I am. Yeah, I remember certain schools would always just kind of push guys over there. Hey, nothing this year, but maybe in the next year. But you're right. Everybody's knows where everybody is.
The hard part, though, Fran's got to be everybody's a free agent. How do you keep track
constantly?
Of that? Constantly.
Well, there are portal sites, Bobby, to go along with your question, of guys that are projected to go into the portal.
Projected. That's a guess.
They're not in the. But there's one guy who's got a really good batting average, apparently. Oh. But, and they just talk to everybody, and then they put these lists together. So now what happens is, so your name's on, there's Bobby Hansen. He's a junior at Iowa, and he's averaging 17 a game. But he's going to go in the portal because he might get $800,000 more for his senior year to go somewhere else. And so,
did you see that somewhere, or that's more money I made in
a career? You were born too soon, bro.
Yeah,
you were just born too soon. That's your parents' fault.
That's what keeps it up at night.
Yeah, and other things. But anyway, everybody's a free agent, and you're re-recruiting your whole team all the time.
What I'm saying is, so a guy's name goes on the portal list, and now coaches start calling on a guy that plays for somebody else.
Yeah.
I got calls last year. Oh, they're shopping your guy. Okay. We're on the bubble. We're one game from the tournament, and agents are shopping. Yeah. So agents are shopping the guy to. It's all peripheral stuff. Most people aren't dumb enough to do it directly because it's a clear violation of the rules. And if I knew anybody was doing it to one of my guys, then I would
turn him in.
The problem is nothing happens when you turn them in. So that's number one. And watching programs tamper is really sad, and knowing that nothing's going to happen. We had a situation a couple of years ago, whatever it was, where the school clearly tampered, and we initiated a discussion with the NCAA, and basically they said, so it's like, what are we doing here? Yeah. Well, that's why the NCAA is no longer going to be in charge of Power 5 athletics. Still going to have a role, but it's not, because in their defense, when they tried to govern, they weren't allowed. Everybody sued them.
They were afraid of a lawsuit.
The prevailing feeling was they have an endless bucket of money. Well, they didn't. They were taking that money and paying for the championships for all of the non-revenue sports, men and women. And that's unfair because the perception was not that. The perception was that there's a bunch of fat cats driving around in Lamborghinis. It was not the case. They were doing great things for 500,000 athletes, and especially how it affected Title IX. We had a good model. The transfer situation should never have changed. Because now not only do you have kids shopping for money constantly, you have athletes that refuse to compete. If I'm not starting, I'm leaving. Ooh. How about you go earn a starting spot?
Yeah.
And so it's a different world. Yeah, but, so far we've kept it pretty much the way it should be, but that's getting harder and harder. Now, of course, we have the settlement that's supposed to go down April 7th. We'll see how that goes if we go to rev share.
Fran, was there a point or a situation or situations that took place where they just really seemed to, the NCAA I'm talking about, just say, nah, there's really no rules, just go do what you're going to do?
Well, at some point, when you have lawsuits totaling $28 billion and you don't have $28 billion, what are you going to do?
Cut bait.
It wasn't, like I said, the only beef I had with the NCAA was that they didn't communicate all the great things they were doing.
Right.
Like, guys, understand where this money's going. Let's understand that
let people know.
Yeah. Now, if your beef is the people that are generating the money aren't making any of it, which is what it was. The NCAA men's basketball tournament was paying for all that stuff. And coaches were making money and the conferences were making money, but the players weren't. And Supreme Court voted 9-0 in favor of the players being able to profit from their name, image, and likeness. It was not supposed to be pay for play.
Right.
And that's the rub, because the rules as they initially went in by the NCAA were right on time, other than they should not have had an opportunity to be a free agent at any point in time. And if they did, it was supposed to be a one-time transfer exception. Once. You can do it once.
Everybody gets one.
But how many times do you do a game? Oh, he's on his
fourth, fifth team here. How do you do that?
School.
Every single week.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just wait till we see this kid. He'll be on his fifth school.
Yeah.
I always go back
and chase the fans away.
Yeah, Fran, your great Siena teams, those probably wouldn't have happened today, would they?
No, because we had 3 players of the year on the same team.
Right.
Yeah, so one year, next year. So those guys would have been at minimum $500,000 players, if not million. And so now the teams that have that kind of money can separate themselves, but sometimes it doesn't work. Sometimes you get a bunch of guys, you throw them together, and they have a singular focus, and that is my bank account. Now, how do you get them to play defense? How do you get them to play together? How do you get them to share the ball? How do you get them to understand and enjoy the process of trying to win together? Which is what we always did, right, Bobby?
I'm saying
that's what I'm proud about my guys. That's what they're doing.
That's a bad NBA team when the free agents come in and you're mixing and
you've seen it.
Yeah, there's a victory coming when you head over there. So
just you get that wrong focus, and you focus on the wrong things.
Money changes
everything. If you do everything else right, it'll certainly come on the back end, right?
But it was to be expected, though, Rob. Here's you take a kid who has no money, his family doesn't have money.
Absolutely.
And somebody's going to offer him 7 figures to play basketball.
Who's turning it down?
I remember I did an iClub, and I spoke, and it was right after Hunter Dickinson signed a $4 million deal to go to Kansas, and I had people were up in arms. This is disgraceful. This is horrible. And I said, well, not if you're him. He's pretty excited about it. Wait a minute, I got $4 million the next 2 years?
Where do you want me?
Yeah, I'm going to invest that, and then I can go pro. And people look at it, I hear what you're saying. It makes sense. But nobody ever thought it would get to this.
Well, I thought NIL would be like what Caitlin Clark was doing.
Well, that's exactly what
worked for Hy-Vee.
That was what it was supposed to be. Right? Go out and do your own deals.
Yeah, not get paid.
Generational is probably too short of what she deserves. Okay. So she moves the needle across the board for interest and selling products. You and I have been around, Bobby. There's very few people have done that. You played with one.
Yep.
Okay. We just mentioned Dr. J.
Yep.
Dr. J moved the needle.
Yep.
And there's just a handful of athletes over the years that have done that. It would have been a shame if she wasn't able to do that. But not only was it great for her, in terms financially, but for her growth and development to have to film a commercial or speak to a group or interact with donors or corporate executives and deal with contracts and understand the complexity of what her life is. Obviously I'm a little more privy than most because of Connor, but did she ever think when she was a freshman that she would need a publicist and a stylist and financial people and contract negotiators? And then she still has final say with her family. And they have done a fabulous job handling that, but most importantly, handling how she's perceived in the public. She's so on top of everything and comes across so well because it's genuine.
Yeah.
You can tell immediately it's not an act. And what that does is it makes corporations want her even more. I want her to be a spokesperson. That's who we want. And to see her be able to do that, it's terrific. And others would have had similar opportunities, not maybe to that degree where they're making that kind of money, but they're making good money. Some of the guys we've had, small deals, but experiencing all right, I have to talk to people on the corporate side. I have to analyze a contract. I have to read the contract. I have to sign a contract. I have to execute a contract. All right, well now, where do we go from here? Do we re-sign a contract? Do we go do another deal somewhere else? But you also, and I always go back to this, I tell our guy, I told him when the NIL first came, I said, this is the greatest thing for you guys, and I'm thrilled for you. But I'm going to tell you something else. If you act like a knucklehead, you won't make a dime. So it does force people to be of sound character if they want to make money in the corporate world. Because, you act a fool, you're out of, in the workplace, you're out of work. You're fired. And you might get sued. So our guys, yeah, coach, they're thrilled to have an opportunity to make 10 grand or 15 grand somewhere doing something. But you have to put yourself out there. And I think from that perspective, it has been a great thing for these kids. And we should have been proactive years ago and had a few more parameters around it. But if we had gone to the athletes and said, we're going to do a few things to help you interact with the business community and earn some money, maybe we don't get to where we are now where it's kind of mayhem. We're getting our arms around it. Hopefully April 7th, the lawsuit is settled, and then we go from there with a new entity running the organization.
But you're right about Caitlin, and she's almost just a corporation, just herself.
And people say that, you know it, I know it, but I don't think people even realize the magnitude.
I don't think so.
Of what the demands are of her time. And she's got to be on every day. And everywhere she goes, they're analyzing what she says, what she looks like, what she's wearing. And it's...
But you're right,
it's not
Fran.
easy
she's so
for a
good
23-year-old.
Yeah, so good
You
at
forget, like, she was 22 most of the time that this was happening, Yeah.
That's her family. You got to give it to them.
Yeah, and they're right in the middle of it, and rightfully so, doing a great job.
No doubt about it. And, boy, there'll be a little action here in May, right, when she comes back for the Indiana Fever.
Got the game. We're going to play the Brazilian national team. It'll be sold out.
But a lot of basketball before that. Fran, appreciate your time. We'll continue talking Hawkeye basketball here, but go get ready for Rutgers.
Will do. Appreciate you guys.
Yeah, thanks, Coach.
Yep.
Fran McCaffery here with Hawk Talk, and we will continue talking Iowa Hawkeye basketball with you. This is Hawk Talk with Coach Fran McCaffery from Learfield.
Tournament Club of Iowa, designed by golf legend Arnold Palmer. TCI is his only signature course in the state. TCI is a public course offering a challenging yet enticing experience for golfers of all levels and is managed by Kaler Golf. Cap off your round with breathtaking views and a delicious meal at the TCI Bar and Grill. Looking for a unique setting for your wedding party or outing? Look no further than the newly renovated clubhouse at TCI. Visit tcofiowa.com to book your tee time today.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
At US Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing US Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today? The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness. Visit US Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to US Mode, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're what make life remarkable. And they're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here for every moment. Committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care. And service and coverage that give you peace of mind no matter what comes your way. So you can show up for every tender moment, every brave moment, and every wouldn't miss it for the world moment, knowing that Blue is here for you. Go to Wellmark.com/every moment to find a plan right for you.
Quinn Schulte, I play safety here at the University of Iowa. On the field, I stop the run, I make the tackle, and I get interceptions.
Rosmer to throw, has time.
Yes,
It's deflected, intercepted again by Quinn Schulte. He's running the other way at the 40-yard line. Hawks have another turnover. We're going to slam the lid, hopefully down. Here's an interception. That'll do it. And it's Quinn Schulte. And down there, the Hawkeyes will have first and goal.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. Rob Brooks in for Gary Dolphin along with Bobby Hansen. And it's time for our Midwest One stat of the week as the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye men's basketball, Midwest One Bank, is a proud partner of doers and entrepreneurs. Our teams are ready to help you reach your business goals. It's empowered money management. It's Midwest One Bank member FDIC. And putting together outstanding stats against the Wisconsin Badgers was certainly Price Sanford in 24 minutes and 28 seconds. Ended up with 14 points on 6 of 9 from the floor and was really aggressive at the beginning of the game and knocked down that key three-pointer, and then that got him to the rim, which is what you want to do, Bobby, when you hit a three, good jump shooter. That defense will come out on you a little bit more, maybe start leaning a little bit, and that gives you an opportunity to get to the bucket.
Well, he knows that, Price knows that they're going to be guarding him. Peyton knows, Josh Dix knows they're marked men. They're going to have their hands all over you, but, when that happens, you got to push the ball. You got to drive it to the basket, get your shoulders, head and shoulders by the defender, get to the free throw line, and Price certainly did that. 11 points in the first half, hit that three-pointer, as you mentioned, and in the second half got a basket and another free throw. But he stepped in there and did a nice job for the Hawks off the bench, as did Laje Dembele.
And for Price Sanford, he was our star of the game after the Wisconsin game, and had a chance to talk to him about his performance. Terrific first half. What worked coming off the bench? You seemed ready to roll, especially at that offensive end, and seemed like playing with a ton of confidence.
Yeah, the guarding guys like me, Peyton and Josh, they're obviously going to be pressuring quite a bit. So just looking to get downhill, use that pressure against them was a focus of mine. And once I hit that three, then they were up even more. So it was easy to get downhill, give them a jab, and go. So.
Yeah, that worked out well. And when you knock down a three or two, obviously on the scouting report, the defense realizes that you can do that. But it's developing opportunities to get to the rim that can really get you going offensively, don't you think?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I credit my teammates as well, to get open drives. You got to have good spacing. And Evan Braun's had a great seal in there for me on one of my layups. So, credit to my teammates as well.
You and Laje, terrific off the bench, 23 points off the bench, which when you're certainly down Owen Freeman, everybody's got to contribute, and the bench certainly did a nice job today.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. We got a lot of production from me and Laje and Evan and Brock as well. He was in foul trouble, but still played great minutes. Found shooters, got downhill. So really proud of the bench.
Another tough game, obviously, coming down the stretch. Anybody's ball game, and then seemed like Wisconsin got to the free throw line, did the job. But defensively and rebounding, you've got to do that for 40 minutes. Those two aspects of the game, you feel like the Hawks did a good job?
Yeah, for the most part. Like you said, towards the end of the game, we weren't scoring very well, and then I think that translated to some not very good defensive possessions with Fallon and putting Taji on the line, which we knew not to do with his percentage. So just coming down the stretch, got to be better.
Yeah, and you talk about the defense. Obviously, Wisconsin, a very good shooting team, almost 40% from three on the year, but you hold them 5 below that, and the Badgers shoot under 40% before the game, but like you said, you felt like the difference, especially in that second half, was their ability to get to the free throw line and obviously knock them down.
Yeah, for sure. We needed some good possessions and, just didn't do that. So
now it's back on the road. Life in the Big Ten at Rutgers and at Maryland. Got some time to prep and still got most of the month of February to try to get some big road victories out there in the Big Ten.
Yes, absolutely. Gonna learn from this one and get back to work.
And the Hawks will certainly do that. And the road starts on Wednesday night, tomorrow night at Rutgers, and then next weekend at Maryland. We will be back live at the Hyatt Regency as we will be at the Watermill Kitchen and Bar live for our next Hawk Talk, which is on Tuesday night, February the 18th. So we'll have the Jan Jensen Show and, of course, Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery live at the Hyatt Tuesday, February 18th. Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield knows you're here for every memorable moment, every fast break, every three-pointer, and every game-winning play. Wellmark is here for every moment, too, with trusted health care coverage that you can count on all season long. Find the right plan for you at wellmark.com/hoops. And throughout the Iowa Corn Cyhawk Series, Iowa Corn promotes honest, hard-working values that are uniquely Iowan. Thank you to Iowa's corn farmers who lead the nation in corn and ethanol production. Feeding and fueling us all. Go to iowacorn.org to learn how corn grows Iowa. Coming up next on Hawk Talk, Tristan Spurlock, the assistant coach, player development in his third year, will join us. You stay with us. More Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery from Learfield coming up.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today? The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness. Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just needs someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
Hawk fans, be sure to visit and connect with these local business partners of the Iowa Hawkeyes, located in the Des Moines area. Car Law, Community Choice Credit Union, and Royal Flooring. Royal Flooring is your one-stop shop for the finest things in your home. Find the best material from the most trusted brands in our beautiful, fully stocked showroom in Urbandale, or shop in comfort online at shoproyalflooring.com.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
How do you become America's best-selling brand? Let's break it down. Innovative tech means smarter and safer driving. Intelligent all-wheel drive will keep you ready for anything. And built Ford tough trucks will always get the job done. Plus, come into your local Ford store today and get super low APR financing, big cash back, and great lease offers on Ford's full line of cars, trucks, and SUVs. That's Ford, and that's how you become America's best-selling brand. Sales claim based on calendar year sales.
Welcome back to Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. Don't forget our next live show will be at the Hyatt on Tuesday, February the 18th, as the Hawkeyes get ready for Rutgers tomorrow night, and then a trip to Maryland. So back-to-back trips to the East Coast. And Tristan Spurlock, assistant coach for the Hawks, has been able to join us here. We certainly appreciate that. And Tristan, here you got 2 games on the East Coast. You've been to the West Coast, now heading to the East Coast. That's life, obviously, in the Big Ten. And just time looking back at the Wisconsin game, really 2 with you couple Purdue and Wisconsin, 2 tight ball games coming right down the stretch. And now that next step is just to try to close that out in 40 minutes against 2 very good basketball teams.
Well, I think even if you look at Wisconsin, the difference between when we played them up at their place and here, we closed the half really well. And up at their place, we didn't, and we let it snowball. And I think for our guys, it was a step because we closed the half really well, but then, we just had a couple plays down the stretch where we kind of went cold. But you got to be encouraged. Like, we're working on things. Things are getting better, from the rebounding to the defense to the intensity to the pushing the ball to playing together. I mean, when you're missing 16 and 8, and for you to be, with what, tie game with Purdue, one of the top 10 teams in the country, and Wisconsin, who's probably hot as ever, and you're right there with them, that gives you something to be encouraged about. And we are encouraged. And those guys come to work. They're going to come to work, and they're going to get better, and we'll get ready for this East Coast trip. Yeah, that is the thing, though. We get to see a practice every now and then. The kids are there working. They're playing hard. They're staying together as well, Tristan. And sometimes you get stretches like this in a season. It can pull a team apart, but I don't see that with the Hawkeyes. They are all in. They are, and it starts with communication. And that's the telltale sign if you see a team that's going to tank it in, is they're not talking. They're not talking to each other. They're not talking to us. I mean, before every practice, the energy is good. The vibes, as the kids say, are high, and they're coming in there talking. And when we have practice, they're communicating, they're competing. We had 2 really good practices leading up to Purdue, 2 good practices leading up to Wisconsin. So we're going to keep it going in that aspects, and playing a really talented team in Rutgers, and a talented team and a little older team in Maryland. And I credit you guys. I credit Fran keeping the kids together, got their back, and the staff. And you in particular are there. You were the development director, I guess it was, but you are in there keeping these kids up. I am. I'm trying to. I mean, they keep me up. Keep me up a little bit. Oh yeah. But yeah, whether it be waking up in the morning, getting workouts in. Brock and JD. Me and JD joked. Because when I first got here, if I didn't know what to do that day, I knew I was working out Josh Dix in the morning. And for us to be, where we are in year 3, and, we sat back and kind of looked and laughed and was like, we've been down before. We've started 0-3 twice and made the tournament in the NIT. This is, he kind of laughed and shrugged it off and be like, we'll be fine. And, whether it be working out, Seydu, he likes to get in there. He's working out, and Laji and Chris and guys who, consistently stay in the gym. And, you got even our walk-ons, Trey, Jacob, Luke, those guys stay in the gym. So, we're not hitting a lull as far as, I don't have to blow those guys' phones up to get workouts in. So that makes me really happy.
You mentioned 16 and 8 out of the lineup. How do you make up for that? It can't be necessarily one guy or somebody that comes in to replace Owen at his position. It's got to be several guys making up those 16 and 8.
And I don't think you just look at just the bigs, right? I think you have to look at the team in totality and go, okay, that means we got to be sharper defensively. Everyone's got to box out. Everybody's got to gang rebound. Offensive glass, we got to steal possessions here and there. And I think our bigs have responded. Let's look at Riley Mulvey. He's, maybe statistically hasn't, put up any, monster numbers, but he moves the ball really well. He's screening. Guys are happy for him when he's out there. Laji Dembele, Evan, those guys have come in and give us really good minutes and energy, and I think that's what they got to do. They got to be a star in their role. They can't go out there and try to be Owen Freeman. They got to be the best Laji Dembele they can be. And one of those people, as you mentioned, those guys that are doing that, and Fran
brought in Carter Kingsbury in the game versus Wisconsin, and he produced.
He did.
Right away he did, and again, everybody's happy for a guy that comes off the bench and cold and gets something positive happening.
Man, Carter is absolutely amazing and vital to what we do, day in and day out as far as our scout team. I mean, whether he's Caleb first one day or Tanji the next day, or it'll probably be Ace Bailey, you know what I mean, in the scout team. He's just so good at it, and we have full confidence in him when he comes in to execute, whether it be 2 minutes and a quick offensive rebound basket or 8 minutes in a stretch where he's defending and flying around. I mean, Carter is a do-it-all, and he's an everyday guy, and that's what I appreciate about not just him, but all our guys kind of on scout team are everyday guys. No matter what their role is, they come in every single day, and they're ready to go.
Talk about that scout team. What's a day look like for them? Obviously, they've got to learn who they're going to be, their plays, so there's some mental aspect to it too, isn't there?
So those guys will come in, they'll lift before everybody else lifts. So some guys will be working out. Maybe let's say practice is at 3, 2 o'clock. Guys normally come in, get their workouts in, get their shots up, get a nice little sweat going before they start practice. Scout team will go lift, and then they'll come back out, and they'll have to learn maybe 10 to 12 plays that the other team runs frequently and has to run them well. And then not only that, you're tasked with being someone else, right? So, let's say you're a shooter. Today you might be a driver, right? Carter had to be Caleb first one day. He's left-handed in 6'10", you know what I mean? And he did it. And those guys, they pride themselves on, giving us a great look. If this is what this guy does, this is what I'm going to do, and I'm going to do it to the best of my ability.
That's versatility right there.
It is. It's tough.
Becoming a left-handed player.
Listen, I remember I was on scout team when I transferred from UVA to Central Florida, and it's so much fun. It's a lot of fun. You get to be someone that's shooting it. You don't got to carry in the war. You're being aggressive. You're attacking, and So I try to, when I sit down and talk and relate to those guys, and not try to sound like an old man sometimes. When I'm like, back in my day when I was on scout team, they do a good job of poking fun at it.
But you can. If you're a freshman, say, you can make your way there too, right? I mean, all of a sudden you start lighting it up. Hey, somebody take a look at me. You see that on the football field all the time.
And for instance, for me, my first year was probably Sanford. He was on scout team, and, he was struggling a little bit during the year. And then when he made that move to scout team, his confidence was sky high. And he was, getting to it, scoring, shooting. And I think he was also lifting a little bit more. So was able to, say, I'm not playing 15 to 20 minutes. I can lift the extra day. I can, instead of taking the day off that the guys who played a lot of minutes, I'll lift that day. I'll come in and get some work in that day. And it really showed. And he was terrific versus Wisconsin.
Well, let's get to know Tristan a little bit. So you said Virginia, where you started out. Where was high school at?
I went to Montrose Christian in Rockville, Maryland for my freshman through junior year. And then my senior year, I went to Word of Life Christian in Virginia.
In Virginia, and then they recruited you. You went to UVA there?
Yes, I went to UVA. I was Mr. Basketball, whatever, and we ended up going to UVA. And I committed under Dave Lato and his staff, and then Tony Bennett came and got the job, and he re-recruited me, and I recommitted under him, and I was there for a year. And then I transferred to University of Central Florida, where I finished up.
Down Orlando.
Yes, it was nice. I loved it.
Went to the awful weather, right?
Listen, they got me off the plane. It was a wrap. I saw that.
Where do I sign?
I don't blame you.
They knew what they were doing. They drove me by a beach volleyball court in the middle of campus. I said, "Oh, you got me."
Okay, I'm in.
Right? Yeah, I'm in.
People don't realize Central Florida's got like 45,000 students.
Oh my goodness, it's like top 5. And when it comes to population and on campus, kids on campus, it's unreal. So,
how'd you get here? How'd you get up to Iowa?
Man, so my kid's mother, she's from New Sharon, and when the pandemic happened, we were expecting our first child, Alea, and I was coming back from overseas, and I decided I was going to go home to D.C. I was going to go home, be with my family. At the time, she was based out of Chicago, and I thought she was going to come with me. But then she said, hey, my mom's in Iowa City all by herself. And I was like, well, we're expecting our first child. I don't want to be all the way in D.C. This world is crazy. We don't know what could happen.
Nope.
So I was like, you know what? I'll just, go to Iowa City with you. And I'm thinking, it's 3 hours away from Chicago. Can't be that different. Can't be that much, different. So, when I got here, I knew no one. I didn't know anybody. So I knew, of course, I knew her, but other than that, it was like I didn't know anybody. So I was still working out. I found a gym. Shout out to my guy Daryl Moore over in North Liberty.
Oh, yeah.
He has a gym, Court 45, And I was able to get in there after, working out at night. He would open it up for me. And then I kind of saw with, the pandemic and things being shut down, what would life look like outside of basketball? I had a mentor who allowed me to do some scouting for the Sacramento Kings, and I wanted to stay in basketball. So I started training, and Daryl, hooked me up with a couple, I started with middle schoolers. And then I was, college kids, and then college kids became Patrick McCaffery, became Philip Abracha, became Evan Bronze, and then at night what I would do is I would set up the pro runs. And I would have DJ Carton and guys from Mount Mercy and other pro overseas guys come in at night, and we would play pickup from 9 to about 11 o'clock at night, sometimes later. And I was getting ready to go overseas. I was I'm going back overseas. And then Kurt Spurlock retired, and BT ended up going to Elon. Courtney Eldridge gets moved up, so that player development spot is open. And I remember when I met with Coach about it, and he kind of laughed, and he was like, "You just played pickup with our guys. You look great. You look good. You want to stop right now and do this?" And I was like, "Coach, if I will stop right now to be able to start on a staff, my first year coaching with you guys." And I met with Gary Barter about 3 times, and we sat down and we talked about it, and we made it happen. So for me,
we're glad it happened.
Oh, super! Yeah. It changed my life. So
awesome. It's just you don't walk out of the arena and it's 75 degrees here.
I'm okay with that, though. I'm okay. I'm used to it now. Give me a big jacket. I'll be all right.
Yeah, turn the heat up in the house.
Parka, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good.
Can survive that, no problem. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. This is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you no matter where you are in the state, changing medicine and changing lives for all of Iowa and beyond. Visit uihealthcare.org. Summit Agricultural Group is committed to Iowa and adding value to Iowa products. Corn, beef, hogs, ethanol. Go Hawks. We'll have more Hawk Talk as this is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery from Learfield.
Midwest One believed in us and gave us the money to get started, and it was great.
We're talking with Jack Piper of Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack.
In 2005, they were there when we opened Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack. They've been there every step of the way with funding and great feedback on how to expand our brand. Midwest One Bank has been great, and with the recent uncertain times, we got through it, thanks to Midwest One Bank.
Midwest One Bank. Simply better banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hawk fans, stop in and visit the newly renovated guest rooms at Hyatt Regency Coralville Hotel and Conference Center, located in the heart of Iowa River Landing. Stay within walking distance of Extreme Arena, home of the Hawkeye volleyball team, as well as great restaurants, shopping, and scenic walking trails along the Iowa River. Hyatt Regency Coralville is also the home of Hawk Talk with Jan Jensen and Fran McCaffery. Come together at Hyatt Regency Coralville, where everything you need is right here.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
At US Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today? The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness. Visit US Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
If you or someone you know is having thoughts of suicide, experiencing a mental health or substance use crisis, or just need someone to listen, 988 provides a direct connection to free, confidential, and compassionate support. When you call, text, or chat 988, you'll be quickly connected to trained crisis counselors who will listen to your concerns, provide support, and connect you to additional resources if needed. There is hope. You are not alone. For 24/7 support, call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org.
At Mid-American Energy, our 1.6 million customers depend on our energy 24/7. That's why we work 24/7 to deliver the safe, reliable energy you need. To keep our 99.9% reliability record, we're enhancing our technology, improving resiliency, and investing in critical infrastructure. We're generating power from all available resources to cover any increases in demand. And we're innovating to ensure you always have the energy you need. Mid-American Energy, obsessively, relentlessly at your service.
Tristan Spurlock, player development, assistant coach for the Iowa Hawkeyes, and just recently has been invited to the Silver Waves Media Elite 75 Future Head Coach Power Lunch, which will take place on April the 3rd in San Antonio at the men's Final Four. And Tristan, congratulations, because that is a terrific opportunity. And, of course, you look at some of the coaches that have been there and will be there. That's a kind of a who's list of outstanding personnel out there.
I'm just thankful for, one, Coach McCaffery giving me the opportunity to be myself. Like, every day I come in there, I have a joke that I always tell people, like, he hasn't told me no yet. Anything I've wanted to do or tried to do, he hasn't pulled me aside, but like, I don't do that. Whether it's 6 a.m. workouts or jumping in there and playing with the guys or, pushing them, talking to them, bringing them in, film. He just allowed me to do so much. And for me to be in year 3 and to be on a list like that, man, I'm just really thankful. And the guys, they listen. I mean, you can't be on a list like that if you can't, get these young men to listen to you. And from, Connor to Phillip to Chris and, all the guys I've had, JD and Peyton and Price and all the guys that, Logi, I want to name everybody, but I can't, but they listen to me. Yep. And I appreciate it, man. And I just try to show up and be the same me every single day. And
you and Courtney Eldridge, Coach Courtney Eldridge, will be involved in that April 3rd, it says here, Power Lunch down in San Antonio where the men's Final Four will be held. And my question to you was, what do you wear? Something like that. You guys are wearing the quarter zips? And
I'm wearing a suit.
There you go.
You got to wear a suit.
There you go.
That's what I was told.
Do you have a suit anymore?
I do. I got one because I thought we were doing for the coaches. Yeah, but we missed the week. We didn't have anything that week, so we didn't have to wear the suit. So I do have a suit. I'm going to have to lose about 10 pounds to make sure it still fits the way I tailored it before the season started. But, yeah, I'm super excited to go to that. Honestly, I don't know how many years away I am, but I'm more excited just to go and to be in a room of, those caliber coaches and to sit and pick their brains and learn. And, it's so the list is unreal. I was looking at the list and from older coaches to younger. And then, they were telling me I'm the youngest on there. So I was just, I was shocked when I got it, and
well deserved.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
You. So
just a couple more trips up and down the court, right, for that suit?
No, it's gonna be some some jump rope, some Carver stairs. I can't eat what I want. I got to stop eating past 9. My kids snack. So when they snack, I snack.
In your business, that's hard to do.
Yeah, I got to stop snacking. It's the chips, the Cheetos.
You can't sleep if you don't snack.
I need something
You're a man,
help.
Right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So that's how I got to diet. If I get my diet better, I'll be all right. I'll fit in there.
No snacks tonight, right?
Oh, no, I'm snacking tonight.
Sure. Super Bowl weekend.
Yep.
That's right.
I'll start
who
on
do you
Monday.
have?
This is tape. Now to be played on Tuesday.
Yeah. So who won?
Here's my thing. I cannot, and this is how I felt about Tom Brady. I can't go against Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Like I felt the same way with Brady. Not to say that he's better, but it was same caliber of like I can't say he's gonna lose. So I'm gonna go Chiefs, but I will not be shocked if the Eagles win. I honestly want a good game.
Yeah.
I don't want to blow out. I want a nice, good football game where I can sit, eat my wings because I'm a wings guy. Flats, drums, doesn't matter. I need some wings, and I'm good to go. That's it.
And it's going to come down to the foot of a kicker.
Oh, don't you hate that?
Isn't that crazy?
I hate that sometimes.
I do.
Go for it.
But you're right. Hard to go against 15.
I can't.
Tough to do.
I couldn't go against 12, so had to let it go.
Tristan, appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you,
guys.
Thank you.
The Hawkeyes and Rutgers tomorrow night. That is a 4:30 pregame show, 5:30 on the air from Piscataway, New Jersey. We'll be back with more Hawk Talk. And don't forget, our next show is going to be live next Tuesday, February the 18th. Jan Jensen will be there. Fran McCaffery as well. Big night for Iowa Hawkeye basketball. And this is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery from Learfield.
Tournament Club of Iowa, designed by golf legend Arnold Palmer. TCI is his only signature course in the state. TCI is a public course offering a challenging yet enticing experience for golfers of all levels and is managed by Kaler Golf. Cap off your round with breathtaking views and a delicious meal at the TCI Bar and Grill. Looking for a unique setting for your wedding party or outing? Look no further than the newly renovated clubhouse at TCI. Visit tcofiowa.com to book your tee time today.
At U.S. Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today? The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness. Visit U.S. Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. U.S. Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
Cancer doesn't care. It doesn't care what you look like, how old you are, what you do, or where you live. We do. University of Iowa Healthcare is doing more to beat cancer than anyone in the state. From second opinions to life-saving treatments that happen here first. We lead the way in research, training, and care because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
Hear that? That's the Iowa Lottery powering up the new Pac-Man scratch ticket, where you could jump your way to $50K in instant cash prizes. Even if you don't score big in your first round, you still get an extra life. Because you can enter non-winning tickets in the VIP club for a chance to win a Pac-Man arcade package, plus your share of $325,000 in cash prizes. That's a lot of Waka Waka winning. Woo-hoo! Pac-Man is registered and copyrighted by Bandai Namco Entertainment Inc. Enter and see rules at iLottery.com/VIP.
I'm Nick Jackson. I play linebacker here at the University of Iowa. On the field, I stop the run, I make the tackle, I drop in coverage.
3rd down, 11. Straight back to pass is Sullivan. He's running for his life. Down he goes. That's a loss of another 6. Nick Jackson.
Off the field, I help my body's defense by choosing vaccines that are right for me. Ask your doctor or healthcare provider which vaccines are right for you.
A message from Iowa HHS.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
The Hawks and the Scarlet Knights from Jersey Mike's Arena, Piscataway, New Jersey, tomorrow night. That is a 4:30 pregame show as 5:30 tip the Hawks and Rutgers. Looking for a place to spend your next lunch break? Don't forget that you can come and enjoy the Watermill Kitchen and Bar, delicious weekday lunch specials featuring a pick 2 for $12. Select from refreshing salads, flavorful sandwiches, or comforting soups to build a healthy and quick lunch, all for a great deal. Check it out at the Watermill Kitchen and Bar every weekday from 11 until 5 p.m. And don't forget, our next show will be live at the Hyatt on Tuesday, February the 18th. Bobby, when you look at the Big Ten, there's so many teams, and it really doesn't matter, I don't think, if it's Michigan State, Wisconsin, Purdue. This league from top to bottom seems like there's so much parity. Now, there's a few teams that obviously have the record, and they've won close games, but you don't ever feel like you go into a game saying, boy, there's no way you can win this game. Or, we got to go on the road. Wow, this not going to be able to do that. You just don't get that feel this year, and tomorrow night is one of those games that's gettable.
Yeah, absolutely it is. And I've watched Rutgers a little bit, just kind of interested in that superstar talent that they have with Ace Bailey, kind of like a Kevin Durant type of a player. He's phenomenal. And then Dylan Harper, knowing his father, Ron Harper, from his NBA days. And, that kid's a left-handed player who could get 40 on you if you don't pay attention to him. But they had a big game this weekend against Maryland, so we got to see both those teams that we will face this week out on the East Coast. But you're right. Yeah, I don't think anybody scares anybody in the Big Ten. You go in there, and if you're making your shots, if you're buckling down, playing defense, and you don't turn it over, you're going to be in the game. All these games, Rob, come down to end of the game situations. Who can perform the final 4 minutes? It seems like anymore. So, Hawks going to come in there ready to go and thinking they can get a win here. And you got to have that attitude when you go on the road, and you got to be together when you're on the road as well. Step up, make your free throws, and make your shots.
Well, and I go back to your keys before the Wisconsin game. It was get off to a great start. You got to defend, and you got to go rebound. And I thought for the most part, Iowa was able to do that against the Badgers. Now it's just got to carry over on the road tomorrow night.
Yeah, absolutely, and they can do it, no doubt. I loved the way Drew Thelwell, we didn't get to talk to Coach about Drew's contribution here now in the starting lineup, twisted his ankle, he came back, so I'm sure they'll get some attention to that these last couple of days, but we need everybody. We need Brock Harding getting in there again and playing like he did in the second half against Purdue, where he played very well. You can't turn the basketball over, you got to make your outside shots, and again, get everybody going there, and it was good to see Laji Seydoux in the game versus Wisconsin to get going and really brought some defensive energy to that side of the floor.
Yeah, Rutgers just kind of hovered around that 500 mark, so it's a tough team to figure out. Probably one of their best victories was back on February the 5th. Took care of Illinois at 82-73. In Piscataway. We'll be back and wrap up Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. Appreciate you joining us this evening to talk Hawkeye basketball. This is Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery from Learfield.
Midwest One believed in us and gave us the money to get started, and it was great.
We're talking with Jack Piper of Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack.
In 2005, they were there when we opened Jimmy Jack's Rib Shack. They've been there every step of the way with funding and great feedback on how to expand our brand. Midwest One Bank has been great, and with the recent uncertain times, we got through it, thanks to Midwest One Bank.
Midwest One Bank. Simply better banking. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender.
Hello, Iowa. Here's a promise. Wherever you are in this great state, University of Iowa Healthcare is here for you, even if you never walk through our doors. Educating, caring, leading research, sharing our expertise with all. Because we believe that UI Healthcare is here to make all of Iowa better. UI Healthcare, changing medicine, changing lives. Visit uihealthcare.org.
At US Cellular, we believe in having healthy relationships with our phones, so we can have better relationships with each other. Introducing Us Mode, a way to set your phone for less distraction and deeper connection. So dinner can sound less like this and more like this.
What'd you learn today? The sauropod was the tallest dinosaur ever.
Oh my goodness. Visit US Cellular in-store or online, and we'll help set your phone to Us Mode, even if you're not a customer. US Cellular, the 5G network built for us. See uscellular.com for details.
You might think Iowa grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Corn can even fuel your drive to watch the Hawkeyes play when you choose Unleaded 88. It's a fuel that's cheaper, cleaner, and greener. Plus, it's homegrown, making Unleaded 88 the clear choice at the pump and totally worth the hype. So as you head to cheer on the Hawkeyes this season, don't just fuel up. Pump it up with Unleaded 88. Find Unleaded 88 at a station near you. Go to iowacorn.org/88.
When you live in the Midwest, you're accustomed to leading the nation in certain things, from corn and pork production to eggs and soybeans. And now we're adding another product to that list, clean, renewable wind energy. By investing in wind turbines and partnering with area farmers and landowners, Mid-American Energy is harvesting wind power that's homegrown right in our very own backyard, which not only provides customers with low, stable energy rates, but also the support to make our Midwest communities safer and stronger.
The silly moments, the proud moments, even the hard moments. They're what make life remarkable. And they're why Wellmark Blue Cross and Blue Shield is here for every moment. Committed to making healthcare better, more affordable, with more choices for care. And service and coverage that give you peace of mind no matter what comes your way. So you can show up for every tender moment, every brave moment, and every wouldn't miss it for the world moment, knowing that Blue is here for you. Go to Wellmark.com/every moment to find a plan right for you.
Welcome back. Our final segment, Hawk Talk with Coach McCaffery. And Midwest One is a presenting sponsor of Hawkeye men's basketball. Midwest One Bank is the proud partner of doers and entrepreneurs. Our teams are ready to help you reach your business goals. It's empowered money management. It's Midwest One Bank, member FDIC. We were talking a little bit about Rutgers and a team that certainly has some youth and can certainly have several players that can have big nights. But when you talk about Rutgers, you have to talk about Ace Bailey and also Dylan Harper, because those two average almost 40 points combined, as the Scarlet Knights average 76 on the season. Not a great shooting team at 44%. Shoot the three decent at 33%. And then 70% from the free throw line. And they've been okay on the boards, but obviously we talked a little bit in the last segment about the Big Ten, and you just can't take anything for granted. And, you beat Illinois solidly at home, and that says something because, as you well know, Bobby, the Fighting Illini have got some talent, and that's a top 25 team.
Yeah, absolutely they do. And, Rutgers, as Fran mentioned earlier in this show, they went out to transfer portal. They got the two superstars, right, but he filled in. He backfilled with some really good players. The big guy, I remember, Somerville, from watching him play. He's a big, wide body in there that we're going to have to contend with. They got a shooter, Durkak, out there, Jordan Durkak, that can knock down shots. So they're always going to play tough under Steve Peichel. They're going to get after you, but you got to get off to a good start. Again, you can't turn it over, and get to the free throw line if you can. Make these young guys play some defense.
Yeah, Steve Peichel, he'll get after it defensively, animated on the sidelines and making sure his team will defend at that end.
And it's a different type of arena, Jersey Mike's Arena. It's great. They got great fan support, great student support, and it's loud in there.
Yeah, kind of like the old field house feel to it with the fans right next to the court.
Comparison.
All right. Well, we'll be on the air tomorrow night. Myself and Bobby Hansen, pregame show at 4:30, and then we'll tip at 5:30, Iowa and Rutgers. Thanks so much for listening. This has been Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery.
Live from the Watermill Kitchen and Bar inside the Hyatt Regency in Coralville, this has been Hawk Talk with Fran McCaffery. Brought to you by Bud Light. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Hy-Vee. Score big savings with a Hy-Vee Perks membership. Iowa Corn. You might think Iowa just grows corn, but the truth is, corn grows Iowa. Brought to you by Iowa's corn farmers of the Iowa Corn Growers Association and the Iowa Corn Promotion Board. Mid-American Energy. Look up, look out for overhead power lines. Visit midamericanenergy.com for electrical safety tips. Midwest One Bank is the presenting sponsor of Hawkeye men's basketball. Midwest One. Small enough to care, big enough to deliver. Member FDIC. Wimmer's Meats, the official hot dog of the Hawkeyes. Lennox and your local Lennox home comfort specialist. Made right here in Iowa since 1895. By your local Ford dealers. Iowa Lottery. Be a VIP with the Iowa Lottery. Visit ialottery.com for details. University of Iowa Healthcare. Changing medicine, changing lives. And by U.S. Cellular, the official wireless partner of the Iowa Hawkeyes. U.S. Cellular. Built for us. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation on the Hawkeye Sports Network.